Hi guys, welcome to the tutorial. We're continuing to look at emotional intelligence in this part of the course, and here we're going to take a slightly deeper dive into interpersonal skills, active listening, conflict resolution, and rapport. Now these are all terms that we have come across already, but I want to go in a little bit more detail about each one. Obviously the point of this course is primarily linguistic, and the words that you choose are very, very important when you are communicating in maybe stressful or diplomatic or delicate situations. So for building trust and rapport, using the right words helps leaders create genuine connections, making team members feel respected and understood. Also very important to handle conflict calmly. Careful vocabulary enables leaders to address disagreements without escalating tensions, promoting constructive solutions. Encourage collaboration. Words that balance authority with empathy inspire teamwork and open communication, driving joint success. And for shaping leadership perception, the vocabulary a leader chooses influences how others view their confidence, approachability, and effectiveness. So basically when you are speaking, when you're given a message in English or any language, but we're interested in English at the moment, there are 20 different ways that you can give that message. But the way that you choose to give that message and the words that you use to give that message are very, very important, because the same message given in a different way can have a different impact. So when we think about interpersonal skills, now by interpersonal skills I mean the ability to communicate and interact effectively with others. It's essential for building strong relationships, professional relationships in our context, and successful teamwork. So the interpersonal skills and the vocabulary that we would associate with interpersonal skills are things like communication, teamwork, empathy, collaboration, diplomacy, tact. You guys can think about what interpersonal skills do you use most in your current role. Do you have to use collaborative language? Are you used to working in a team? Do you have to be diplomatic? Are you involved in perhaps disputes or conflict resolution? What type of interpersonal skills are most prominent in the role that you have right now? And by extension, what sort of vocabulary do you have to use for those tasks? Active listening, which we've touched on before. Active listening requires full focus on the speaker, not pretending to focus, but actually focusing on the speaker. Paraphrasing to confirm understanding, asking clarifying questions, and using non-verbal cues like nodding and tone to show interest. The point of it is to understand the speaker's message deeply, not just waiting for your turn to talk. Everyone likes to know they're being listened to and paid attention to and understood in any context. So for business leadership, it's a really important technique. So phrases you can use to demonstrate active listening are things like, so what you're saying is, and then you paraphrase what you've understood the point to be. Or, I understand you're concerned about. Can I just check you understood that correctly? And if you are able to paraphrase the person's idea, they'll be happy. And even if you misunderstood, they'll be happy that you've taken the trouble to clarify and not just assumed that you know what they're talking about. So these are really useful phrases to demonstrate active listening. Conflict resolution. So conflict resolution is the process of resolving disagreement constructively. Key terms here would be things like mediation, compromise, win-win outcome, tension, resolution. For example, we reached a resolution after a short mediation session. So this can happen when there's conflict among individuals at work. Maybe HR gets involved. There's been a misunderstanding or something inappropriate has been said. Maybe the manager's putting too much pressure on a subordinate. There can be many different things. But rather than letting the situation escalate, we try to resolve that conflict in a professional manner. If you're the person in charge of conflict resolution, you want to make sure that you're very professional and very neutral, and don't use emotive language in what is quite likely to be quite an emotional situation already. Rapport. We've mentioned rapport a few times through the course. I haven't really gone into what it means. Rapport is a positive and trusting relationship built through understanding, respect, and mutual connection. So there should be good rapport between the team. There should be good rapport between the team and the manager. Good, respectful, and productive personal relationship. That's rapport. Doesn't mean the person has to be your best friend. It just means that you have a healthy respect and mutual understanding. Why rapport matters? Well, I think it's self-evident, but let's say rapport improves communication flow, increases team engagement, and reduces misunderstandings in the workplace. Ways to build rapport: find common ground. What do you have in common with other people around you? Use people's names. It's simple, but it's a really powerful gesture if you remember and use people's names. Show genuine interest in the things they do and the things they say. Mirror positive body language. I won't get too deep into that, but if you sort of have the same posture as the person you're talking to, then sort of subconsciously they like that. But if you try and be too manipulative about it, it can be obvious and you might look a little bit psychopathic. To the point that it looks natural, mirroring positive body language is a positive thing. Examples would be, He quickly built rapport with the client by discovering shared interests, creating trust and ease. So maybe you're from the same place, maybe you went to the same university, maybe you have the same favorite supermarket, the same hobby, maybe you both have family. Like, anything you can find in common to talk about can usually help build rapport. So you put it all together. Interpersonal skills is your foundation for enabling positive interactions. Basically knowing how to talk to people, how to interact with people. Active listening, paying real attention to what the other person is saying and responding to it, not just waiting for them to stop talking so you can say what you've been waiting to say. Conflict resolution. Conflict will arise in business. As I mentioned elsewhere, business is fundamentally about human relations. And with so many people involved with different priorities, there will be conflict, but it doesn't have to be a disaster. And rapport is building a positive relationship through trust and mutual respect. Some common phrases, we put some of these ideas together, conflict resolution phrases. Use constructive language like, let's find a solution that works for everyone. Clear, professional, neutral. Active listening, I understand your point, let's explore options. So I've heard you, I understand your perspective. I don't necessarily think you're right on everything, but let's talk about it. Interpersonal skills, maintain open dialogue with phrases such as, it's important we keep communication open, which encourages transparency and trust. Building rapport, another way to do it is expressing appreciation. I really appreciate your honesty. Maybe I don't like what you just told me, I don't like the facts of it, but I appreciate your honesty. So even in maybe challenging situations, you're helping to build and maintain that rapport. Key takeaways here. So words and phrases like interpersonal skills enable effective connection, active listening encourages understanding, conflict resolution addresses disagreements, and building rapport fosters trust and open communication. Core leadership message, effective leaders listen actively, connect authentically with others, and resolve conflicts constructively to inspire and guide their teams. Think about which skill you most want to strengthen in English. Which of these do you need to use most in your professional context? You think you will need to use most in your professional context? What would you like to improve both in terms of delivery and in terms of the vocabulary that you use to express your ideas? Thanks very much, guys. I will see you for the next one.